Good morning. I want to talk to you today about something that's vitally important, that you understand how it is you're creating the life that you're in and upcoming lifetimes that will be following this one. We want to give you a really clear understanding of how you create a karmic reality, or what that exactly is. As a human goes through their life, you are constantly focused, having thoughts, then feelings, that bring to you opportunities and experiences that are the results of those thoughts and feelings. So it's really a three-step process in the way that a human creates their experience. Here comes the problem. Oftentimes, a human doesn't really pay attention to the thoughts that start coming to them. Perhaps you're stuck in the three lower energy centers of lust, of greed, of hate, of jealousy, of rage, of not enoughness. This would be the standard thoughts that a human would draw from when they are in the three lower energy centers of the body, you see. Because they feel they need to sustain themselves, they feel they need to protect themselves, and they feel as though they, the human, are the ones that are creating their experience, and therefore this is how they choose to feel and think, and then manifest upon the plane, oftentimes in suffering. We want you to really start paying attention when a thought comes to you and love it out of yourself. This is the only way you're going to move out of the three lower energy centers and up in consciousness. You have to pay attention to the thought that you receive, not in a sucking it back up, not in a judgment or a condemnation of it, in a love of it. Because the first thing to mastery is recognizing where mastery isn't. So we want you to really start paying attention when thoughts come to you that are counterproductive to the rising of your consciousness. And then simply soothe yourself and understand yourself as a human in the life experience you're in and in those that you have been a part of and in your lineage. That maybe there was some not enoughness, that maybe there was some lower self-esteem or worthiness, whatever it was, and that these would be the things that would contribute to you actually having the lower level or less energetic type thoughts that you would be sending out to all that is. You're not going to move out of this state by condemning or judging or being disgusted with yourself for what it is that you are thinking and feeling. You're going to move out of this state by loving it out of yourself in the understanding, I see myself. I recognize what I am thinking and what I am feeling. And I know that I am the creator of my experience by what I think and what I feel. And therefore, I'm going to make my human feel good. I'm going to let my human know that I understand that it has drawn a feeling or a thought to itself based upon what it has lived. And I'm going to gently soothe that out or accept that in myself, you see, in noticing it. This is the first step to mastery, by the way. There's no condemning, no judging. There's just a recognition. We want you to understand in this process of thought, of feeling and emotion, and then finally circumstances and situations appearing in your experience is a three-step process. The first of the thoughts, there is some karmic power or debt that is being accumulated by what it is you are thinking. And then as you hit the feeling or the thoughts surrounding what you thought about, this will create more energy, and it is yet another contribution to your karmic reality. But then what's going to happen is the energy is culminated to a point where you're going to start seeing the results of what it is you are thinking and feeling coming to you in opportunities or in ways that you now have to decide whether you're going to participate in those ways or not. And we would tell you that it becomes a lot more difficult as you ignore your feelings and your thoughts to not act. But once you have acted, now you're really running up a karmic debt that is going to play out in the next lifetime that you're going to be a part of. You're not going to be able to escape what it is that you have chosen in the reality that you are in based upon what you've been thinking and feeling. It's going to get a lot harder the longer you let those thoughts and feelings continue. They will accumulate energy to the point where materialization will occur, and then you will have a lot of difficulty resisting that materialization. So we just want to make you aware of how your karmic reality is being made, that you are the one that is doing it, that you have to become the master, not in the denial of your thoughts, not in the condemnation of your thoughts, but in the observation and understanding of your human, of why it has drawn the conclusions it has in the life that it has lived. And in this way, you can stop the manifestations or the materializations of thoughts and feelings, and therefore really lower the effects of your karmic reality in the life you're in and in the lives that are coming. We have told you before that your energy centers are the sending and receiving devices to the divine part of you. They are actually spinning and moving from your breath, from the prana that is being drawn into them. And that once the human is born, once it draws its first breath, the karmic wheels begin spinning, or the wheels of life, or the chakras and energy centers begin bringing in just exactly where you left off. What have you lived? What have you felt? What have you made others feel as they have lived and felt? This is all being recorded. It's all stored within those energy centers. And your breath is supplying you with the link or the connection to the divine part of yourself that actually starts the conduction of experiences coming in. You've probably noticed in your children at a very young age that they are quite different, that they have tendencies, that they have things that they are working on at a very young age. And that's because they came packed up in there. They came right in with them, you see. So now that you have that understanding, you get a little better idea how someone can manifest something at a very young age. It's quite possible that things will start off with a bang, depending on what's stored within the human. We want you to understand that there is a dominant center within every human. It's what you refer to as the aura. It is the color of you, or the dominant chakra within your own personal system. We have talked before about finding the keys that lie within you. This is an important key. This emanation, or color of emanation, can actually be covered up depending on what a human is experiencing. One that is in great depression will actually have a dark gray or blackish aura, which will then overshadow or cover up the dominant center. So it will be difficult for you to gaze at the human and be able to obtain the color of their aura. There's also a very olivey green color, and this is also brought on by a lowered way of thinking or victimization state, let's use that term. And it is another color that when viewed, you can surmise that this is covering up the real emanation or expression, let's use that term, that a human could be expressing in the life that they're in. So we want you to understand that each of those centers has a color. In Robin's case, she is a green ray being or heart-centered. And therefore, she would come in loaded with any attachments or experiences that would affect her relationships that are important to her, her heart center, yeah? And so she would have to notice that and actually do the necessary unraveling or observation of herself in regard to relationships, being codependent, being disrespected, whatever else it would be that one would experience that would be related to close relationships within the heart center. Those would have to be unraveled or taken care of or balanced, let's use that term, in the human, before you could express your soul's desire or life path that would actually apply to that center. And so she's done that work. She's had those experiences. And now her heart center is open, and therefore she is able to work with people. She is living out the passion that her soul meant to in the using of that energy center, you see. And then we would use others as an example that maybe had the yellow aura, which is an aura of intellect. And this would be a sign or a symbol of control aspect. Sometimes a human will struggle if they have not cleaned up their vibration. They will have some problems in relationships as far as control goes, others controlling them or them controlling others. But once these emanations are cleared, or a human has observed themselves and loved them out of themselves, then that clear yellow emanation would then start to take on the soul's journey or aspect of what it wanted to live out in the life that it was in. And it would be one of intellect, where they would apply their intellect in ways that would be very satisfying to them in their work, you see. And we could go down each one of the energy centers, but primarily they are the throat, the heart, the solar plexus, and the sacral area, yeah? These would be the applicable centers, that the emanation or the colors that you would generally see around a human that would give you some sign or signal of what it is that they would be applying themselves in the lives that they are living. Once you really know what your dominant center is, or are able to read your aura and see the color, then you can really start to correlate what it is that you will be on the path with or be doing in your work, in your soul passion. It will become more evident to you. And then you will start to view experiences and want to clean those experiences up that are not to your satisfaction by loving them out of yourself, so that you may actually start applying that aspect of that energy center in the life that you're living. Oftentimes when you're able to identify the primary center or the auric field, you will really start to move into your life's passion. It's like finding a key that unlocks the door of all the other doors. So it's just to have an awareness that when you notice that you're having a lot of experiences, perhaps in relationships, it would be the heart center, perhaps in control, it would be in the belly area, in the center. If you just look at what each center represents and how your life is running in that area of your life, you're going to start to find the key to yourself as you reckon with it, as you start to pay attention to it. You simply cannot live unconsciously and expect that you're going to rise in consciousness. The only way that you're going to rise in consciousness is to become conscious, is to become aware, is to actually understand how your system works and that your thoughts matter, your feelings matter, because they are culminating experiences that are going to come to you. And a human is vulnerable. A human is feeling. A human has things that it holds within itself that sometimes need to be satisfied by the outside in. So it's very important that you start to look inside of yourself, not in judgment, not in condemnation, not in self-disgust, but to know that everything that you are thinking about and everything that you are feeling about is happening. We would use the example of a husband and wife waiting for the company to leave and then running off in the other room and deciding to talk about things that they could not talk about in front of the company, thinking that nobody would know anything about it or hear what they were saying. But somebody's always hearing what you're saying. And the truth of you has just come out. Everything that you are thinking and feeling is being received, and it is being heard, and it is being returned on. This is a great tool or something that you can use as a sign or signal where you're not really recognizing that it's not about just you looking out. There's something else receiving you, mirroring back to you. There's only one thing. You think that the plane that you're on and the non-physical realm that we're on are two separate planes. They're not. There's you projecting out and others seeing you. But then there's the universe seeing everything that you're projecting out and giving it back to you in a mirrored view of you. So there's no going in the other room. There's no talking to somebody and having them not hear it because it's all one thing. It's all being heard and it's all affecting you, every bit of it. So we really wanted you to understand how this karmic reality works and that you're being recorded. Make no mistake about it. And that's not to make you fearful. That's not to make you perfect. That's not to condemn you. That's to give you awareness, self-awareness of what it is that I hold within me that's creative value, that's returned to me from the universe that I am part of. We hope that you get this transmission with the love and patience and understanding that we're trying to give it to you in. That you have to start noticing what it is that you're participating in and what it is you're allowing, what it is you're hiding, what it is that you're trying to pull off that you think that someone else isn't going to know about because everything is known, you see. Good day.